Coming up, Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers provide love and care for 63 Muslim families at the Penang Jing Si Hall. Tzu Chi Indonesia Chapter promises to find Indonesian students enrolled in TCU in Taiwan a job back home once they graduate. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. In Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers have been offering assistance to underprivileged families for many years, regardless of race or faith. Recently, a distribution was held at the Penang Jing Si Hall, where 63 Muslim families received love and warmth from Tzu Chi. Furthermore, knowing that one of the recipients suffered from a back injury, besides providing him and his family with a ride to the Jing Si Hall, volunteers also helped them move into their new home.
A home infested with termites is where Tzu Chi care recipient Usman and his family used to live. Today, Penang Tzu Chi volunteers in Malaysia are here to help the family move into their new apartment. For appliances that were too big to fit in the elevator, volunteers helped carry them up 7 flights upstairs.
Thank you, Tzu Chi volunteers, for helping my family move into our new home. I don't know how to repay your kindness.
After we helped the family move into their new home, they have regained their smiles. When they were at their old home, the wife was under a lot of pressure because they were receiving help from a Buddhist NGO.
As Usman has limited mobility due to a back injury, a volunteer thoughtfully drives the family to the relief distribution held at the local Jing Si Hall.
The money we received from Tzu Chi is not a lot, but they provided us with assistance when we needed it the most.
During the distribution, children from Hulu put on a sign language performance for participants. Besides receiving aid from Tzu Chi, many care recipients also donated their filled bamboo coin banks to pay the love forward. Furthermore, free health checks were also made available for those with medical problems.
To safeguard the elderly left behind in New Taipei City's Pingxi District, TIMA members and Tzu Chi volunteers have been holding bi-monthly free clinics here. Let's take a look at a recent free clinic. Here on New Taipei City's Pingxi, the borough chief's voice cuts through the rattling of the train tracks. TIMA and Tzu Chi volunteers are here to conduct their bi-monthly free clinic in the medically deprived district. Shortly after the announcement, a local resident comes by seeking help.
The borough chief said Tzu Chi is here for a free clinic, so I thought I would ask a doctor to come.
For patients who can't leave their house, TIMA doctors have no problem making house calls.
I can climb the stairs, but I can't walk very far.
He can't walk, he has no energy. He was hospitalized for 2 months, but has shown no improvement even after he came home.
Pingxi has the highest percentage of elderly population in Taiwan, and because of this, TIMA members hold regular free clinics to safeguard residents' health.
His blood circulation is poor. He has stasis dermatitis.
The clinic features ophthalmology and dentistry to provide the seniors with comprehensive care. Tzu Chi's thoughtfulness is the best care for them. Knowing that refugee immigrants in the United States lack adequate medical insurance, the Tzu Chi Foundation decided to hold a free dental clinic for Burmese refugees at the Herbert Ibarra Elementary School in San Diego, California. To make the refugees feel right at home, the dentists and volunteers were all from Myanmar. Thus, there were no language barriers.
Tzu Chi International Medical Association is holding an unusual free dental clinic at the Herbert Ibarra Elementary School in San Diego, California.
We just moved to the U.S. I have brought my child. Thank you, Tzu Chi.
Most of the Burmese immigrants in San Diego came from refugee camps in either Myanmar or Thailand. The basic medical insurance they enjoy does not cover dentistry. Thus, Burmese American Tzu Chi volunteer Huang Guoshen helped mobilize some 30 local dentists, also from Myanmar, to give a free consultation.
This is truly a meaningful event. A friend of mine is a dentist, and thanks to his help, some 30 other dentists agreed to come help treat our fellow Burmese refugees. All of them are more than happy to lend a loving hand.
I feel too much pleasure because I can help mostly the needy people. Tzu Chi Foundation said we can help whoever needed dental treatment.
With the help of 126 volunteers, a total of 113 patients received treatment by the end of the event. Tzu Chi has successfully created a platform to help love propagate.
It has been more than 20 days since the Kaohsiung gas explosions occurred. Tzu Chi volunteers have yet to stop providing hot meals for affected residents. Recently, a victim was inspired to thank the volunteers and Master Zhen Yan after having eaten so many days of fresh meals. Her gift was a painting done by herself, which represents that Kaohsiung will rise again from the destruction.
The glass by the front desk of this clinic in Kaohsiung are cracked after the recent gas explosions. But the wife of the clinic's doctor has transcended her sorrow into an inspiration for a painting.
I did this in remembrance of the event. After I completed this painting, it dawned on me that I have been eating so many days of Tzu Chi's lunchboxes, so I should paint one for Master Zhen Yan.
Grateful for the volunteers' hot meals and constant care, Tang Tao Can was inspired to paint to express her gratitude to Tzu Chi and Master Zhen Yan.
I'm very grateful, because their actions have warmed my heart.
Giving them a hot lunch to eat was something they needed at the time.
Filling the entire canvas with vibrant colors, the painting represents that Kaohsiung residents will not be defeated by this recent tragedy. They will surely rise from the ruins and live just as they had in the past.
Though the petrochemical industry is known as the mother of all industries and has boosted Taiwan's economy for the past few decades, at the same time, we are paying a hefty price for such development. The environment around petrochemical plants remains seriously polluted, negatively affecting habitats and wildlife. Furthermore, reports have shown that residents living nearby are also a lot more likely to develop cancer. In today's series on Taiwan's petrochemical industry, we find out why.
On March 26, 2000, the CPC's fifth naphtha cracking plant in Kaohsiung caught fire, releasing toxins into the air.
The plant already discharges harmful substances into the air under normal operation, and these substances have the potential to threaten nearby residents' health.
Accidents at petrochemical plants release a lot more toxins into our environment than normal. Even without accidents, such plants are still highly polluting.
As a plant ages, its pipes will deteriorate, which leads to leakage, which can cause serious pollution that incites public outcry.
Residents grow frustrated with petrochemical plants because they see their hometown dying a slow death.
Last year, I successfully repopulated some 50 to 60,000 fish, but they are all dead now as the color of our river constantly changes from red to yellow to green, just about any color there is.
In Taiwan, any land that was once home to a petrochemical plant is polluted, including the underground water.
Besides the destruction of the environment, residents who live near a petrochemical plant also seem more likely to develop cancer.
Toxins will come into our body via polluted air and contaminated water. When the water evaporates, toxins will become airborne and enter our lungs. 7 out of 10 people who die here die of cancer.
I'm currently at a Zhonghua community in Kaohsiung's Renwu district. Behind me is the Renwu Industrial Park. On this end are Zhuhou and Dadu industrial parks. Over here we have CPC's fifth naphtha cracking plant. This community is completely surrounded.
Residents say day and night they endure foul odors coming from the plants.
Industrial parks like DaAi has plants with a leakage rate of over 20%.
The health risk of petrochemical plants has only sparked more controversy. According to a study, 500 people out of the 70,000 living in Lingyuan have cancer. Carcinogens such as epoxyethylene, benzene, and acrylonitrile were discovered in the air of Lingyuan. An environmental survey also stated that in Lingyuan, for every 10,000 citizens, 1.83 people have cancer because of petrochemical pollution. Another study shows that women living in the Hojing area are more likely to develop laryngeal cancer and lymphoma.
Kaohsiung is a city of heavy industry, so the pollution problem here is a lot worse than other cities and townships.
The local government tries to monitor the pollution level by relying on high-tech equipment. It also has a live feed on all exhaust pipes of all the city's plants and factories.
Citizens are more concerned about heavy metals, such as dioxins or fine particles. The Environment Protection Bureau has established strict regulations regarding this matter.
Though the government fines all violators, residents say this passive approach does nothing to help minimize the damage to our environment and health, which cannot be quantified.
As we breathe in these chemicals, we just don't know what will happen to us.
Without proper checks and balances, the petrochemical industry will continue to ravage Taiwan's environment and the health of its citizens.
Moving to Indonesia, on August 14th, Taiwan's Tzu Chi University and the Tzu Chi Indonesia Chapter signed a memorandum of understanding to provide scholarships to the top 5 Indonesian students currently enrolled at TCU. Career opportunities at various Tzu Chi missions in Indonesia will also be made available to the students upon graduation.
Tzu Chi Indonesia Chapter Deputy Director Sujianto Kusuma and Taiwan Tzu Chi University President Wang Benrong signed a memorandum of understanding that will help top students from impoverished families continue on their way towards a brighter future.
The content of the Memorandum of Understanding stipulates that the Tzu Chi Indonesia Chapter will help the top students each year with their tuition, living expenses, and accommodation. Upon graduation, they can hold a post at Tzu Chi Indonesia Chapter's various missions.
The MOU aims to provide career opportunities back home for Indonesian students currently enrolled at Tzu Chi University. A delegation of 10 people from the university seized the opportunity while there to introduce the institution's philosophy and ideals to parents and teachers.
If she studies medicine at Tzu Chi University, not only is it a learning opportunity for her, she can help others too.
The development of character is also very important. In order to be competitive, a student needs to be equipped with humanitarian skills, in addition to a proper education.
To highlight the dangers of drug abuse, the TCU team visited 5 schools in the area, bringing their message through games and short skits.
I am very happy to see the students respond so enthusiastically. I feel like they have developed a better understanding about the dangers of drugs.
The cross-country visit gave TCU students an opportunity to spread their goodness across Indonesia.
Also in Indonesia, Tzu Chi volunteers held a blessing ceremony at the Pantai Indah Kaput Jing Si Hall to advocate vegetarianism and encourage people to stop burning joss paper. During the ceremony, a short skit, A Moment's Thought, was performed by Tzu Chi volunteers and was a big hit with the locals.
Before their actual performance of A Moment's Thought, volunteers rehearse constantly.
The difficult part was arranging the rehearsal schedule. As everyone is planning trip at this time of the year, we had a tight schedule because of Eid al-Fitr. There were only 2 weeks left before the event.
Nelly Kasashi was the director and stylist for the show, and also designed costumes for the performers. In the end, the volunteers came together to give a very good performance on the day.
I'm really grateful to the master who called on us to adopt a vegetarian diet. I'm also grateful to the performers who were willing to invest such time and effort.
Performed at the Penang Jing Si Hall in North Jakarta, the drama not only promoted vegetarianism, but also environmental conservation.
Sesungguhnya makna Hari Ulam Bana dalam agama Buddha itu adalah
Most people here still hold traditional beliefs and believe that it is necessary to burn joss paper during worship. But everyone knows that creates carbon dioxide, which is bad for the environment.
Not burning joss paper is good for the environment, while not eating meat is good for the mind.
Yang disampaikan luar biasa tadi seperti bagaimana kita
This is unbelievable. By becoming vegetarians, we can save the earth and foster a harmonious society in Indonesia. Maybe what we eat does affect our behaviors.
Tzu Chi volunteers are fostering a more harmonious society this 7th lunar month. And the 1,400 residents who participate in this most recent event were happily part of that effort.
Throughout Chinese communities in Penang, Malaysia, whenever the 7th lunar month comes around, the streets are often lined with piles of joss paper ready to be burnt as offerings to ancestors and ghosts. Tzu Chi volunteer in training, Ma Liuxing, was the same, blindly following traditions. It wasn't until Ma joined Tzu Chi that she understood that many traditions associated with the 7th lunar month were in fact superstitions. Once it is July on the lunar calendar, Chinese households in Malaysia will traditionally take to the street to burn joss money as a way to honor their ancestors and appease the ghosts that are said to roam at this time.
I would ask her not to burn joss paper, but she would tell me to go ahead and burn it. If I didn't listen to her, she would get upset and say, if we don't, our ancestors will be angry.
When he told me not to burn joss paper, I wouldn't listen. I would tell him we have done it like this forever, and this is how it is.
Unmoved by her husband's words, it wasn't until 2 to 3 years ago that Ma Liuxing had a change of heart due to her exposure to Tzu Chi.
The weather is hot and the environment polluted. It made me think that burning joss paper is useless. We don't know where it goes.
No longer worried about appeasing ancestors and ghosts, Ma understood fulfilling filial duties start with those who are still alive. Thus, she asked her mother-in-law to move in. In the beginning, Ma spent much time and energy helping her mother-in-law with her mobility.
I was sweating a lot, but I didn't feel at all angry or upset. It was quite the opposite.
In the end, Ma also put the Dharma into practice.
I know she thinks the work is tiring, so I tell her I'm happy to do it and willing to bear it.
Next, we go to Taichung, Taiwan to meet Tzu Chi Care recipient Ms. Tsai. In her early 20s, Tsai became a single mother. However, the pressure of looking after her son single-handedly and making ends meet resulted in her falling into a depression. Thankfully, a group of angels clad in blue and white walked into her life and helped the single mother discover her passion for drawing. Recently, under the encouragement of the volunteers, Tsai showcased her artwork at the Tzu Chi Taichung chapter.
Putting watercolor paints on a palette is Tzu Chi Care recipient Ms. Tsai, whose life used to be one full of misery.
Back then, my business had failed, and I had to look after my son. I was in despair and didn't know what to do.
In her early 20s, Ms. Tsai became a single mother. Facing the difficulties of raising a child and making ends meet led to her falling into a deep depression.
After I started drawing, I rediscovered my confidence. A Tzu Chi sister asked me if I wanted to showcase my artwork.
For the very first time, Ms. Tsai is showcasing her artwork at the Tzu Chi Taichung chapter.
就觉得一个心愿完成。
孩子对这一个画展，他也是蛮高兴的哈。
他就觉得我妈妈要出名了。
Expressing herself through painting, Ms. Tsai has found strength and hope.
很多人帮忙扶。
A lot of people have helped me along the way, including the Tzu Chi sisters. By showcasing my artwork, I have gained recognition from others.
关怀当中，蔡小姐她或许有吸收。
With us visiting her on a regular basis, Ms. Tsai has regained her smile.
With determination, Ms. Tsai has overcome the obstacles before her. Walking inside her house, one can see her beautiful paintings hanging on the wall. Whether it is the drawing of a raccoon or a sleeping cat, Ms. Tsai's artwork is no longer filled with sadness, but with the hope of a better today and tomorrow.
The Amitofo Care Center in Africa was established by Venerable Master Highly, a monk from Pingdong County, Taiwan. Currently, the center has adopted more than 3,000 orphans across its offices throughout the continent. Besides looking after their daily needs, the center also provides these children at the chance of an education. Recently, 18 children from the center went on a tour across Southeast Asia, New Zealand, and Australia to thank the benefactors. Next, we join their performance held in Medan, Indonesia.
Chanting Buddhist scripture in front of a group of audience. These are children from the Amitofo Care Center in Africa. Since young, they have been looking after by the founder of the center, Venerable Master Highly.
The purpose of our trip to Medan is to let local Buddhists or sponsors of our center know that the money they have donated have changed these children's lives. Education has made them realize their unlimited potential.
On behalf of more than 3,000 children sheltered by the center, 18 children put on performances across Southeast Asia, New Zealand, and Australia to thank those who have supported them over the years.
Today's event is very meaningful. It was not only entertaining but also helped us understand the lives of those living in Africa. Seeing their hardship made us reflect on ourselves. We have gained valuable knowledge too.
Kita tahu gitu loh, orang susah dengan kita itu beda sekali gitu. Jadi kita bisa mempelajarinya.
By receiving an education, this group of African children has found hope. In the future, they will continue to spread the love they have received far and wide through their voice and dance.
As it is nearly time to go back to school for Taiwanese students, we get some tips from doctors at the Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital as to how students can adjust their summer schedules to fit ones for school. Doctors also show some exercises to stay healthy. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.